as you're working through a project, one of the most useful things to do is just to realize what's next. And so one of the easiest ways to see that is if you're in a project. Here I'm in a project called eCumbo. In the community is also called eCumbo. If I go into the approvals section, so over here on the right hand side, you see the approvals section, and then I minimize this, I can see my orange unmet requirements. So right now I've made it the whole way through the project where I'm approved to implement, and now the next thing that I'm looking to do is to confirm community investment and approve equipment installation. Before I can approve that this step has been done, I have to make sure that everything here in orange is also complete. And so as you can see, the documents, well, let's take a step back. There are two different things that may need to be filled out. One is a field, and by field they mean something within the pump that needs to be filled out. For an example here, you can see some of the fields like an estimated date of completion of the design. And so a field is something that I can go in and take a look at. That field is found in the assessment and design page. So if I click on assessment and design, down here, estimated complete assessment estimate completion date, and the design estimated completion date. If I want to change that, I can edit that, put in that date here when it's in that phase, and then update it. And if I go back to the approvals, that's what gets called, or that's whenever the orange would turn to a black for these fields. So these fields are all within the pump. Now the documents are something that needs to be uploaded that are outside of the pump that's being uploaded into the pump. So for now, we're using PDF forms, and an example of some documents are the Community Mobilization Report, Safe Water Committee certification, and an MOU. So some of those are things that are needed before this is done. Now to upload those to the pump, we use these buttons down here below. So one, I can view files, which takes me to the SharePoint site for this project, which is just a file collection site that we use. Or I can do this, upload files. Now when I click upload files, you can see here a very simple site where I can select basically two things: a standard activity report and a non-standard document. A standard activity report is a PDF that we've created that's supposed to interact with the pump. So it is a very specific document that the pump can read all of the activity. And if you don't know exactly what those are, ask your supervisor. There's a list of them here in SharePoint, and here I have them for Tanzania in blank standard forms. And depending on which project model you're using, they might actually have different standard reports. So here you can see four of the basic ones: disaster response forms, restore survey forms, safe water project forms, sanitation project forms. The most common use that we do is the safe water project form, so I'm going to go in and click in that one. And here you can see a list of all of the forms that are needed to be uploaded to the pump. So these are all blank forms. You can download these to your computer, but if you're ever looking for a new one, I definitely encourage you to not look at your latest one on your computer to copy that over, but to get a blank one from SharePoint. So back to the pump. Once I go here at the document type, I can click Standard Activity Report, which is one of these that you just downloaded. Click into that, and it'll ask you to upload a file. So if I click Upload a File, I can go into my computer, select where I filled out that file, and click Open. Within about 1 to 5 minutes, you should get an email back to your personal email, or whichever one was filled out in the form, to say if that upload was successful or not successful. If it was successful and it was one of these projects, then if you refresh the page, you should see that turn from orange to black. and that will satisfy one of the requirements for moving on to the next stage.